Hi all. So in this video, we all will learn about effective lecture preparation and delivery, and later we will also look into how we can create our own content, how we can capture content from different media like PDF, online websites, videos, and how we can find animations online. So we will be talking about our major focus will be on how we can turn a just because of a 20-minute session preparation in the beginning, how we can turn a very ordinary session to an absolutely awesome session. So the major key takeaways will be how we can organize the content in a logical order, how we can save time in writing less and teaching more and demonstrating more. So we can save time in writing questions, diagrams, drawing diagrams on the board. So basically, how we can save time on figures or diagrams. Then the questions that the lecture will have, questions or examples that a lecture would contain, then maybe some images that we would share. They can be related to the theory or application. So in order, like we will be discussing about how we can create a content in 20 to 30 minutes before the session, so that our session becomes really good and more effective for the teacher also, and for the student also. So teacher has to not put in a lot of effort if this preparation is done perfectly. So now let's discuss how in different machines like Mac and Windows we can capture images, and then we of all these media of figures, questions, images, how we can create an image for all of them and upload using the functionality of uploading a picture in the whiteboard. So let's see. So let's discuss how where all can we find this content. So we can majorly find this content in PDF files or say Word files. We might find this content online. So there's a lot of academically relevant content online. So we can find them online on websites. We can find them on videos on YouTube. So I'll just write videos. And we also might find animations. By animations here I mean a simple .gif file. That is also an image we can upload on the whiteboard. So how we can extract content from all of this we will be discussing. So let's go on to the next whiteboard. So if you're talking about Windows, for a Windows machine, I will be using a snipping tool. We can use a snipping tool to capture an image, or I can use a print screen. I can print the whole screen. The button, the keyboard on a Windows machine is print scr, that refers to print screen. And in Mac, there's a different way of capturing a picture. Now, in short, I'll just show you how to use the snipping tool. For example, if this is my snipping tool over here on the desktop, so I turn it on. I want to save this picture. So if I find some content like this, I snip it and then I save as, and then I can choose the format also. I want it as a JPEG image and then save it. But I'm not going to save this one. Apart from this, if you haven't pinned it on your start bar, you can also run it through the run command, that is Windows R, and just type snipping tool without a snip, without a space, SNIPPING tool, and you press enter. It will launch the snipping tool. Now, if you don't have snipping tool in your Windows, you can also use online softwares like Snagit and other things to capture the screen. So there are plenty online. So in Mac, there's another shortcut, that is uh, command. Command is the equivalent control button. Command plus shift plus the button 3. So this is for screenshot. It captures the whole screen. Whereas if you want just a region of the screen, then you will do command plus shift plus the button 4. So this will allow you to snip like the snipping tool. Like in the snipping tool, if I say new, I can capture whatever I want. If I want to snip from here to here, or from like how much area I want, I can snip that much. So this will be extremely useful while we will be creating content. Now let's come back. Now let's see how we can snip relevant content from a PDF. For example, if I have to take a lecture on a PDF, say projectile motion. So I have a PDF of projectile motion, and I have, it's my first lecture. So maybe if I want to use the introductional picture, I don't want to write the theory for it. So basically, if I want to share this image directly, so if I have this much of the basic concept, I want to share this much with the snipping tool. What I can do is I can just snip it and save it as an image in a folder. I can just name it also, or this is the part of the organization of the content. So I can name it as one intro. So this will be my introductional picture that I will start my session with. So I can save it here. So this becomes a part of my content that I will be using for uh, a lecture on projectile motion. Now, similarly, this is how we have extracted a content out of a PDF. Now let's see another media. For example, if I were, like we had discussed, we can have PDF, Word. Now, for example, an online website. Now, for example, if I find a really good content online. So online, for example, in this tab, I have something related to projectile motion or kinematics in two dimensions. So this is a website called Cliff Notes. So if I find good content here, so what I can do is I need not copy everything. I need not snip everything. What I can do is I can just snip whatsoever I like. For example, if I like this image down here, if I want this figure, what I can do is I can simply snip this figure and use it as a part of my lecture. So that can really benefit in and save the effort also of my drawing such a figure like this. So if I want to use this figure, or even if I want to mark something, if I want to name this figure, for example, any name, if I just name it as figure and I want this to be a part of the image, so I can just save as to, I say figure. So if I want a figure to be the following content, so just save it as figure, then I close it. Apart from that, for example, if I come across a question, now we would also want, we would also encourage that the teacher doesn't spend a lot of time writing the question on the whiteboard rather than uploading a question. How to upload a question? Now, again, very interestingly, we can find the question in a PDF also. Like in this PDF, if we keep going down, we just might find some relevant examples. So here I found a relevant example. So what I can do is I can simply take this question, or if I don't if I want to zoom it a bit and then snip it, I can do that also. For example, if I think if this font is really small, I can just enlarge it. Okay, I enlarged it, and then I capture this, and I can also name it, organize it in the same folder. I can just say 3, and this will be my example 1. So I can name it as example 1. Now the reason that I am naming all the files with a script before it, like a pre-script, that is 1 2 3, just so that in my folder I can see them in an organized way and not alphabetically. So I can just save it now. So this is my example, and if I want to share the solution also, I can snip one more image with the example and the solution. Just save this also, example 1 with solution. So this is how we do stuff with a snipping tool. Apart from that, if we for example, if we encounter a video in which a question is being discussed, for example, I went to I went to YouTube, I could find a physics problem over there and I found it pretty interesting. So if it was a mechanics problem, like we see here, there's an inclined plane problem, and if I wish to use this the same in my lecture. So what I can do is I can easily snip the whole thing as a question. I can just save it. Okay, so I already have the numbers till 3, so I'll write it as 4, example 2. Example, so it has been saved here, as we can see. So this is how we can extract our content from videos, PDFs, Word files, and online. Apart from that, for example, if I want to make my session even better, if I want that apart from this, I also would like to create a factor in which I can show an animation also to the child. So if I want to do that, I'll just enable you, like I'll just tell you how you can find something relevant. So let's see if we can find something. So I go to Google, and if my lecture is on projectile motion, I just search projectile motion, and then I go to images. So when I go to images, I use the search tools. I use type as animated. So when I use this type as animated, most of these images that I will see will be GIF images. So what I can just what I can easily do is I can open this one file. So as I see, this is an animated file which shows me different cases of projectile motion with different angles and different initial velocity vector and varying height also. So if I kind of like this, what I can do is I can just save image as, and I can save it in the same thing. Same, so I can just say projectile dot gif, and I can save it. So yes. So now that I have this image, I can now saved it. It's downloaded in the location I want it. Now I go to the whiteboard. In my lecture, because I've done a lecture preparation, I've extracted the content from wherever I wanted to and stored the relevant information in form of images. I can now choose those images. I can go to the same location, and then I can start my lecture with introduction. Saves a lot of time. I go to the next whiteboard, explain whatever was there. I can have this figure here. Go to the next whiteboard, and it becomes extremely simple. Then I'll be discussing this question. It takes me a second to upload it'll save a couple of seconds, a minute or two, in writing a question like this, so it creates an impact. So immediately you have this question in place, the student interacts with this image and starts solving it, and you can help the student do the same, apart from wasting time in writing the question. So we have the question in place, and later we can use this another question that we had found in the video. So we can have this also. Apart from that, we have also had an animation which we wanted to include in our lecture. So here is that animation, that is a GIF file. So I include this also. So this makes my session much more meaningful, effective, and the delivery will also become extremely good. So because you've done a good preparation, and automatically it'll show in the session. So a very ordinary session can be really awesome if we incorporate these practices and start using them in our upcoming sessions. So all the best. I hope you benefited out of them, and stay tuned. We'll be coming with more features, and we'll keep you updated on the same. Thank you so much.